Hi everyone. So my name is Giridhar and welcome to my YouTube channel. And in this first session, guys, we'll try to understand about the Python programming. So this is what we are going to learn in our today's session, guys. So about the Python programming, all the few questions that you might be having, like why to use Python out of like number of languages. So why to use Python and what exactly is Python programming, who developed Python and when to go for Python and when not to go for Python and how to use Python, right? And where to write the Python code. So these are the generic questions that we normally have. So before beginning something, let us try to clear all these different things, all these questions. So all it is, this is our agenda in this session. So all about the Python programming. And first of all, guys, Python is accessible. It's everywhere. Python is open source and Python is popular. So why I'm saying Python is accessible, guys? Python is for all the operating systems. So even guys, you can install the app in your mobile as well. So we have the number of apps available in the Play Store. So where we can write the Python code on the top of mobiles also. Python is accessible. Python is everywhere, and Python is pure open source, and that is the reason. So developers are coming to Python program. More number of developers are coming, and of course, Python is popular. All right, guys. And the second point, and Python is clear, Python is readable and expressive. So what is the necessity of like what is why I'm saying Python is clear, guys? See, in order to just to understand Python, guys, it's not required to know Python programming. We can simply if you open the script, you can understand that, guys. So knowing Python is not at all required. So for programming, yes, you have to know Python programming. That is something different, guys. But if you open any Python script, you can understand end to end. But that is not the case of other languages. If you open some Perl script or JavaScript, so you cannot understand not even single language. You don't know what is happening there. But coming to Python, you can understand. So that can be about file handling, that can be libraries, so whatever we do, you can understand if you have the minimum programming skills. Alright, yes. And what exactly is Python? So let us try to understand. Let us try to understand these things. So what is Python? Right. And Python is general purpose. Python is interacted. Python is interpreted, interactive, multi-platform. So there are a lot of different points here, right? Let us try to understand this step by step. Yes. So why Python is called as general purpose, interpreted, interactive, multi-platform, object-oriented, right? A lot of different terms. So Python, guys, it is not meant for only one particular area. It is not only for ML. It's not only for automations. It is not only for image processing. So Python, it's for different areas, and it depends on us how to use Python accordingly. Someone might be system at beat who he'll be using Python for automations. Someone might be expert in image processing. He uses Python for processing his images. So they're different areas. They're different areas. All right. So and already is like let us see all these things step by step. And what is the meaning of interactive, guys? First of all, if you open ID, it looks like this. If you open some ID of Python, it looks like this. So there are basically three panes, and this is called as programming window. So this is called as programming window. So all right, and the second one, there's a place where we have all our variables which are defined here, and then we can get all the files which are being like saved from the program. And third one, guys, this is called as interactive prompt. It is called as console, or it is also called as interactive prompt. It is also called as interactive prompt. So if you execute a program, you are going to get the output here. Or guys, even we can use this for some sort of testing. If you want to test something, so you can just like test, right? For example, so like you want to cross check like what happens if I split the string. So this is my string, right? And if I split the string, again guys, don't bother about all these things. I just want to make you understand like about the different windows. In our second session, guys, I'm going to like show in detail like how to install, right, and from the Anaconda, and about all the things I'm going to cover once again, guys. So this is just to make you understand that this is the console. All in guys. And if you split, I'm going to get the output immediately. I'm not saving the program and I'm not doing anything as such. So the moment I type the code, I'm going to get the output. It is interactive. It is interactive. Alright guys. So it is interactive. And coming about, there are basically two types of languages you might be studying in the college days. So one is compiled and the other one is interpreted. And Python is the interpreted language. And Python is multi-platform. So in the current market case, we have more than 1,000 plus operating systems available. So Python is available for all the operating systems. So Python is available for all the operating systems. And Python is purely object-oriented programming language. In the next question that arises is like whether we have any prerequisites of learning Python. Okay, so we don't have any prerequisites. Python is a beginner's language. So this is the best like fit for the ones who are new to programming. If you are into some other programming, that is good, guys. You can just like by comparing, you can learn this language easily. If you don't know some other programming, so that's fine, guys. Python is going to be your first programming, and it is too good. You're going to start. You're going to give a fresh start. Anything is fine. And Python was initially developed by a person, Guido van Rossum. He's still contributing. He's still contributing. And Python is pure open source. That is the reason like more people are coming to Python. So more developers are coming to Python programming. And last three lines talks about the syntax like called as indentation. So guys, Python is entirely different from other languages, guys. Almost all the languages I can say. So it has something called as indentation, which I'm going to cover in the next upcoming sessions. All right. So, and as I told you, Python has platform specific installation. The setup is different. For Windows it is different, for Linux it is different, for Mac it is different. So but remember guys, so most of the Linux flavors, almost of the Linux, all the Linux flavors comes with Python by default. It is not required to install. So Windows, yes, will be installing Python in the Windows. It's not by default, but almost all the Linux flavors comes with Python. Almost all the Linux flavors comes with Python by default. Might be either of the versions. So might be Python or Python 3, but nowadays almost all the versions that supporting Python 3. We'll discuss all those things in the next upcoming slides. All right. And coming to implementations, guys, basically we have four different types of implementations. If anyone who is going to work in Python, he should work in either of these implementation, right? Python or C Python. So it is of same type. We have seen, right? C is the mother of all the languages. In even Python was designed with in the C language. Not only Python, is all the languages, almost all the languages, right? And Python, C Python, it's the same thing. And if someone he says that like he's working in Python, so it means that he's working in C Python. And Zython is for the Java developers to implement the Python functionality on the top of JVMs. So basically, yes, these are of like entirely four different languages. I can say they have their own syntax. In Iron Python for the .NET developers, and PyPy for R programmers. Like this, we have four implementations, guys. But Python or C Python, it's of same time. Nothing to worry. So, and coming to versions, there are basically two versions in Python programming. So, one is Python 2 and Python 3. So, both are called as sister languages, guys. Both exists in parallel. Right? In the same system, you can have both the versions. So, Python 3 is not the upgraded version of Python 2, guys. Both are sister languages which exists in parallel. Since Python is not compatible with a lot of different features, they started parallelly some project called as Python 3. So right, both exists in parallel case where most of the code almost it is same, So it minor changes in Python 2 and Python 3 guys, right? If someone is working Python 2, they can easily migrate to Python 3, right? It's just the few minor changes guys. In the upcoming sessions I'll discuss about all those different things. Right, and coming to Python 3, so let us see when to prefer and when not to prefer Python 2 guys. See, if in our projects, if something is already existing in the Python 2, we don't disturb the environment basically. So this happens mainly in the banking and insurance sectors. Why? Because guys, they generally don't like keep on migrating to some other versions. Why? Because they might be having a lot of dependencies. So in my previous companies, I've seen this. Like the code, even like couple of years back, it was still in the Python 2. They don't migrate yes, but because so a lot of changes, like lot of they have to will be a lot of dependencies, right? And when to prefer Python 3 guys? If you're starting something from the scratch, it is always good to go with Python 3. Right? Python 3 is a feature, guys. Even Python 2, this was stopped. The support was stopped by 2020. It was recent in the news. So you may be getting the executables to install, but right, Python 3 is a feature. But remember, guys, at the end of the day, anything is fine. So, but I'm going to prefer Python 3. Python 3 is a feature, guys. Right. And there is a timeline for it to understand, guys, since it started and Python 3 project started somewhere around 2007 8, right? And like the latest version available in the market currently is 3.9. The release timeline. In who developed Python? As I told you, the previous slide, by the person called as Guido van Rossum, is still contributing to the Python community. He is the creator of the Python. He's still working. And the next question that arises is like, who should use Python? So for this question, guys, I don't have any straightforward answer. So I don't have any straightforward answer. Why? Because it purely depends from one-to-one perspective. So right, if someone like, for example, say guys, like if someone is an like system engineer or say like system admin, he uses Python for automating the task. He'll be using Python for automating the tasks. If the data scientist like he use Python for creating the data models, for creating implementing the models. So there are different areas where Python can be used. Python can be used in the area of web development. So in the next slide, guys, let us like take all the different use cases. But only thing is, who should use Python? No straightforward answer. Why? Because it depends like in which area you are. Right. It might be DBA. You can use Python for automating your operations. Someone might be in the web development area. So like this, we have different areas where Python can be used. Python can be used in the area of testing. So there are different areas. Alright, guys. And now let us try to understand the different use cases of Python, which is really important. Guys. See, coding can be done by anyone, guys. It is not a big deal. But you have to understand how Python is used in the different areas. And for sure, guys, you're going to work in one of these area. And remember, at the same time, no one is perfect in all these areas. So, right, you might be working in one of the specifications like which I have listed here. Alright, guys. And the first one talks about like embedded scripting, image processing. In the third one talks about scientific and numeric programming, DB programming, system utilities, GUI tools, internet scripting. Let us try to explore all these areas, guys. The first one, embedded scripting. So, what do you mean by any embedded device? So, what do you mean by any embedded device, or what do you mean by any network device, guys? Basically, if you ask me, like, what do you mean by any network device? I can say that if anything is connected in the network, or which has some IP address or the host name, then I can call that as embedded device. Where like right, hope it's clear what I'm saying is this embedded device which is connected in the network. Where right, and how Python is used in these areas. For a simple example, guys, you are given some task like this. So from this is your local system, right? From your local system, say you are given some task, and you are given some task in such a way. So from your local system, so you have to copy the file from local to. So this is your local system. So this is your local system, and you want to copy the file to the remote system. This is a common activity that we normally do is in the production. Into the remote server, you want to copy the file to this. Following yes, if there is one-time activity, so through might be through some putty or like FTP, like you would perform this operation. That is done. For example, say the similar activity you have to do for say on hourly basis. So on hourly basis, so for 24 hours and for 365 days. So do you think yes you can copy the file exactly on hourly basis for 24 hours and 365 days? It may or may not be possible, guys, right? So okay, assume that like okay, we are doing this activity manually. Now say you want to copy this file, like say now I want to copy this file for hundreds of servers. So like this now instead of one remote system, like I've said hundreds of remote machines. So I want to copy this file from like all the remote to all the remote machines. So now guys, you need to automate this task. You need to automate this task. So in order to automate guys, we have number of languages in the market. We have almost 700 plus languages. Python is not only language, guys. We have Python, Java, like we have Ruby, Perl, different languages are there. So all it guys. And then like what is the next step preferring looking for Python guys? The same thing I can do in a lot of other languages. Hope it is clear what I'm saying. So why? Because guys in Python you get a lot of community support. The number of ready-made libraries which are available. So with the number of lines are really less compared to the languages. If something for in order to do the same task, if it is done in Java, like say it makes like it takes like 100 lines. The same thing in Python is we can hardly we can end up in like 10 lines, not more than that. That is a bit of Python. So right, we use mainly for automation in this area. That's what system admins do. So that is what system admins do. They automate this almost everything. They want to copy the files. They want to like say some network engineer like he used to copy some router or switch. Like a number of libraries available where we can automate this task easily. The second one talks about image processing. So one of the area like where people use number of different tools, right, or number of different languages. So Python is popular in this area. Python is popular in this area. Right. In the image processing, Python is popular. Is. What do you mean by image processing? Image processing can be as simple as just blurring the image or rotating the image or reducing the size of image, right? Or to have some watermark on the image to crop the image, or it can be like the complex operations can be the image classification, right? For example, I have some image of say human beings and animals. You want to classify. So what all are human beings and what are animals? Everything is, or else like say you want to understand the expression of the particular person on the image processing, right? So Python is beautiful. Python is the best like fit language in this area, guys. And the third one talks about system and scientific and numeric programming, which ultimately leads to data analytics, and again data analytics leads to machine learning. Python, guys, Python is not much strong in this area around say up to 2008 or 2010. So because of the beautiful libraries like pandas and NumPy and SciPy, and Python became one of the popular language in this area. So it falls under the machine learning is data scientists, like the area of the data scientists. I'm going to apply the videos in this session, guys, like separately, relate to the pandas, relate to the data analytics, and then deep learning and the machine learning. We'll explore this later. But Python is again one of the popular language in this area. And the fourth one talks about database programming. So right, we can now Python is we can like connect to any kind of database that can be relational, non-relational. for automating your tasks. Like for example, you want to connect to a database, you want to pull the data and you want to store the Excel file. Yes, we can. Or else you want to read some Excel file which is having some queries and then you want to insert all the data to the database. Yes, you can. So you can connect to any kind of database, guys, with number of libraries, right? And it is easy. It is easy, guys. So remember, guys, we don't have any such concepts like JDBC, ODBC connections, driver one, driver two. We don't have anything as such. Things are made easy, guys. We will try to explore this later separately. I'm going to have one separate session only for this, like starting from the scratch, like how to install the database in a system, like how to give the queries, and then how to connect from Python to the database, and how to insert, like how to select from the DB. I'm going to have a separate session for this. So, and guys, the fifth one talks about system utilities. And what do you mean by system utilities? Let us see some example, guys. In the Windows, in the DOS command, in the Windows, in the DOS. So, what is the command to list all the files in the DOS? If you ask this question, you might be saying dir directory, right? So, this is what I'm saying, right? In the command prompt, like you want to list all the files. So, this is the way you're going to list, and the command is dir. So, and if you talk about any Linux flavor, what is the command, guys? So the command is ls or a number of flags, right? ls7, ltr, a number of flags, but the basic is ls command. Now, guys, these are called as system commands. So depending on the system, the commands change. These are called as system commands. Depending on the system, the commands changes, right? With respect to operating system. So this can be any command, guys. In the Linux, if we take, that can be as simple as ls command or date command or tar command or any kind of command. We can invoke them directly in Python. It is done with system utilities. Sometimes, like we don't get any alternative other than executing the system command. We have to execute that directly. We can do that, guys. In a number of libraries. Right. We will talk about this later in upcoming sessions. And even guys, Python is used for designing GUI tools. So what do you mean by GUI tool, guys? Whatever like you are able to see or whatever you are able to feel, whatever you are able to look, it is nothing but GUI tool. Examples like Notepad or Calculator, even MS Office, all these are called as GUI tools. Python is like is in the Python a number of libraries like for building GUI applications too. All right. In this one talks about internet scripting. Using Python is like we can connect to internet, we can connect to HTTP, we can get the data, we can upload the files, we can download something. And also guys, like there is one more area like web development. We can design some web pages in the Python. We can design dashboards. We can design like pure end-to-end web application. It's not like purely Python, but like the mix of Python plus HTML, JavaScript, where we can design the complete end-to-end web application also, guys. So like this, there are different areas where Python can be used. And remember, guys, one cannot be perfect in all the areas. Like it depends on your expertise. Someone might be working in embedded, like in the area of system automations or like network automations, or he might be network engineer. Someone might be the image like expert, image processing expert, and this is my area basically. He might be the data scientist, and he might be the database engineer like DB, right? And if someone's like they might be like looking to automate their system commands. So right, designing GUI tools or like getting something from this, like this thing is this ultimately leads to REST calls, REST APIs, which like I'm planning for the separate session on this, like what is the REST and like about all these things in detail. So like these guys, so these are the different areas where Python can be used. So Python is called as that is the reason why Python is called as general purpose. Python is not only for one area, guys. Right? If you take this A part, so we basically have three languages. One is Python, right? And like we have the SAS language, even like R. So if you want to build some ML model, guys, even I can use Python, I can use SAS, and even I can use R. Anything is fine. But guys, Python is becoming popular in this area, right? And R is one of the popular language in this area. If you want to like say build some ML model, we can design in R, SAS, and Python, and when to go for R language is R programming. So R is only for data analytics. R is only for data analytics or machine learning implementing ML algorithms. But we cannot automate anything. So we cannot automate, right? We cannot like process the file as much like the way we do in Python. Right? R is only for analytics. R is for the visualizations. R is for applying ML models, but not apart, not more than that. And SAS guys, even like whatever I can do in R, I can do in SAS also. But this is a license version. You need to purchase this license with some bucks. So mainly MNCs organizations they maintain these, but not the startups or say middle level companies. Right. And coming to Python is purely open source and it is a general purpose, guys. It is not any language just like R only for data analytics or ML. So Python is general purpose. So that is the reason like, people started preferring Python, guys. So earlier, like say 5 to 6 years back, the market they used to capture the market R and SAS. But nowadays, like it was reversed. No, Python is grabbing the complete market share. So why? Because more people are coming to Python, and then the number of like the library base is huge compared to other languages. So all it is like this. These are the different areas where Python can be used. I can say. So and the next question you might be having, let us see. And what you should already know, guys, nothing as such. Python is the beginner's language. So if you have to some other language, that is fine, guys. You're going to learn Python easily just by comparing. If you don't know any other language, also that's okay. That's 100% fine, guys. You're going to start. You're going to give the fresh start. That is too good. Alright, guys. We don't have any such prerequisites for learning Python programming. Alright, guys. So this is about the Python programming, guys. I hope this is clear for you. And in the next session, we are going to install Python tools and we have a number of tools available in the market. So let us try to explore them and let us try to install one tool and let us try to understand about the virtual environments. And thanks for listening, guys. And if you think it's interesting, so please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.